Sure, this is In Conversation with Pressed. Now, remember I told you, and I keep telling you, that you need to subscribe to this channel. I need to like this channel. And you need to share it. Now, this indeed, we talk to people who are busy. You know, we talk to people that in theta in China about as an this person is a movie. We talk to people who are engaged, man, who are very, very busy. Point in question. This lady, her name is Reitumetse. Beautiful name. I'll tell you about her. I'll give you a true story. So, why we talk to people who are very busy on this channel. We talk to people who are doing incredible things, but do not have time to be chit-chatty. Boo, hi, how are you? Hey, no. Go straight to the point. 10 years later, she'll answer your text, or she'll not. That's how this thing works. And I found out for all along, be talking to somebody that I know very well. I'm so disappointed in myself. Literally. Pictures don't do you justice. Pictures don't do you justice. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Reitumetse Lekalaka. I'm back saying right. Thank goodness. Reitumetse, thank you very much, man. This is amazing, bro. Like is very staged. Lab will take it to will introduce you to stray gas, and Lab will introduce you to people that you know.
Okay.
It's been how long since I was?
It's been a long time. It's been close to over 10 years.
Yeah, over 10 years. That's okay. And when I saw him, I go, hold on. Manjit, which one is this one? She know this one. So now the brief background story is that Reitumetse is I think she said it very nicely when she was correcting me. She said she's not an autistic mother. She is
an
autism mom. So today, what I like about today is that we're not talking to a professor. We're not talking to somebody with we're talking to somebody who is raising. Man, I get very emotional when I say this. Not that I feel sorry, but just that we need to understand what we do.
Yeah.
We need to get to know our kids. We need to get to know our children and what they are going through. And sometimes it's kind of difficult from the places where we come from, where we don't have a lot of noise regarding a certain condition.
No facilities.
Yes, a beautiful welcome. This is a conversation, by the way.
Thank you so much for having.
Thank you very much for honoring us, man.
Okay, I'm so happy with you.
Yeah. And she came on time, people. Don't just think that. She came on time. You're an amazing person. You know, I've known you. I can certify that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen somebody who grew up with the same energy till you are now a parent. And I've known you even before you became a parent, when you were just a child.
Yeah, definitely. That's true.
Now, you are having a challenge in your hands. I'm saying it a challenge because you will learn that this condition requires you to be hands-on.
It does require you to be hands-on. Every step of the way, you also learn as a parent how to communicate with your child, and how to understand sensory overload, anything to deal with how your child develops sense space.
But before we even go into that, please briefly, because we understand you've been going through all these workshops and all this. I don't know. You get parent empowerment. What is from what you've learned, from what you've experienced? What is autism?
Well, autism is a spectrum that has different intensity traits to all the spectrums that an autistic person will have. Like, for example, autism is not measured in how much autism you have or how much autism you don't have. It is measured in terms of the spectrums that an autistic person has. Like, let's say on the spectrum chart, there is stress, there is bipolar, there is depression, there's ADHD. So it differs on the level of ADHD or the level of spectrum a child is experiencing. Yes. So you'll definitely see autism when a child's development is a little bit slow or a little bit faster than go.
Okay.
Yeah. So the child will have so much sensory to deal with, and also a developmental deficit that is present, and how a child goes through the milestone as presume the child should have
No, yeah.
needs.
Wow. So there's just a lot of spectrums and a lot of conditions there. Can we just
There's definitely a lot of conditions and spectrums. There's so much, yeah. Because as a parent, you also have to keep up in these kind of things, and you have to be able to assess your child in a way that, you know, my child is suffering from 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is how I can aid for it. No. And if you don't understand these kind of things, there are facilities and there are other like support groups like Autism SA that can also aid at your assistance. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So okay, try. How did you know as a parent? When your child has got maybe what you call disability in the leg, you can tell that's physical.
That's difficult.
Yeah, but how did you come to know that okay, this is my child?
Okay. Let's start from at birth. After birth, obviously, you have this time where you like breastfeeding, and there are times where you play with your child. And there's a time where I used to call my son with his name, but he wouldn't respond, you know?
Okay.
Like maybe he would respond after like 5 seconds lapse later, or something like that. So I would think, as my father also would say, we thought it was deafness, really, but like partial deafness or something like that. But it wasn't, you know. We went to doctors and it was too early to tell. So they just let us go through the developmental process where we see the child has the milestones they should have. Like, are they walking in time? Are they teething in time? Are they doing all the things that they required, you know? And for me, I realized that my son was probably suffering from autism when his vocabulary wasn't just coming up, you know? Because my younger sister also had a child about the same time as him, like just 4 months apart. So when I realized that her daughter could speak and mine couldn't at the time, I was like, what is going on? You want to see your child like excelling in other things, but it's not mixing up. You're not seeing the results. You're not seeing those milestones, and then you panic up the charts. Okay, so we wait because I wasn't familiar with OTs or stuff like that, but I had been introduced to autism when my mom was going to workshops because she was doing foundation phase. Yeah. So I went to the psychologist. Yeah, I met up with the psychologist in Hanswater, and we had a one-on-one sit down with me and my son to her. And she assessed us. She assessed the whole process of everything that needed to be done. And then she informed us to go to Dr. Prince in Kimby. So fast forward, We go to Dr. Payne's, and Dr. Payne's helps us. He has a consultation with us and starts the assessment process for the autistic checkout. So we do check it out, and he finds that he does have autism. So autism does come with the level of intensities, and my son is on the mild level of autism. So that means that they are able to accomplish a certain task, but in a routine manner. If you keep on teaching them in a particular manner, then they will grasp on, and it will have an impact on how they do develop. So it does help because it does help them develop what they need to develop in the life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hey, now, hey man, you just made my brain explode. The reason being,
Yeah.
you understand only the wording autism, but you don't understand what it really entails.
Yeah.
Now you saying, how old is your son, huh?
My son is going to be turning 18. That what?
Whoa.
80, you can't wait me. A grower can say,
July is gonna be turning 8.
yes, but what I wanted to know is it's what you've just said, right? That your son is under a mild. Does it change with the years, or
It does it. It becomes better as the years go by because you'll be going to be on your own routine, how you set up a routine for them. That's how they excel in like day-to-day basis.
it is very important?
It's very important. If they do shift out of their routine, anything can happen. They can have a meltdown, a shutdown. Anything can happen.
Though they have triggers. No?
Yes. So mostly they call those tantrums. They're not tantrums. They're trying to figure out how they're feeling because they don't like surprises. I mean, they want to know when I wake up, I'm going to brush my teeth, I'm going to have oats, I'm going to watch this series or this particular channel, and then this is what I'm going to eat at this time and that time and that time. So
So this means you can't even have guests over, random people just coming in to visit. Hi, we just go outside.
No. That is definitely a no. You can't just pull up. You can't just, it has to be a scheduled visit or something like that because it can get them off their tune.
Yes.
It can get them off their tune, especially if they don't know if they trust this person to be around my mom, to be around my home. My home is my safe space. Can I be able to be myself when this person comes around? If it shuts that little bit of them not being able to be themselves, it's like I cannot move.
Or get started.
Yeah. So it's really, really a routine thing, a uniform thing.
So, but now you have. I'm gonna get to the causes. You have family members, your mom, your dad, your siblings, your niece and stuff. How does that work? Because obviously this is our child, and we need to spend time with our child. How does it work?
When there's an autistic child in the household, everything changes. From how you do things and how you talk, how you dress, everything just becomes different, and you guys, all of you just limp autism. But it's not a difficult thing to live by. It's just that, is it uniform?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Can kids all play together? If they don't know how to play together, let's learn how to play together. If you can't talk softer, let's learn how to talk softer. If you can't have a conversation, let's learn how to have that conversation. Let's learn how to include what we don't know.
I'll tell you something. Like I said, I've known you for many years. This is not how you spoke like 10 years ago. No, this is level one maturity of calmness, and I think it goes with your everyday sort of routine. Does your son prefer you speak because there are some ones who cannot stand the noise. I remember I had an experience with one. I didn't understand at first, but this child will always come to my space. We work with autistic kids. Whenever I did not understand, to be honest, because whenever he will feel like it was even started to be routine. He would run to my office, and it just sit there, literally just sit there. Now, I'm not trained in autism, but what I did, and I actually felt a bit of a relief after I've learned all it, and I just like I said, let him sit there, and he would do that. He would do that, and then I realized another thing: he does not like noise, like loud banging noise. At school, you have events, and they want to be, you want you, and then your tools are busy as. How does your son respond to those types of noises?
Like, hey, with autism and different kids respond differently to a lot of things. For example, at first, my son was very sensitive to noise. So we'd have to like really, I love to play my music really loud. I had to stop, and that's your. I had to stop that instant, right? And I learned that when they grow, there are some changes that take place. There's this thing we call hyperfixation. Like when a child who with autism finds something that they are doomed to, someday, if it happens, they might get detached from it and find a new hyperfixation. So now with my son, yes, he kind of like switched up because he likes music now. We just like listen to music every day in the house, like all the channels for music in the phone, on my phone, on his tablet, it's only music. So I introduced him going to the church, right? And then he wasn't really familiar to like help about noises, but
Or the church.
the people at the church, like it was, I don't happy you are testing waters. They're gonna be able to succeed in this environment, right? And to our surprise, he actually, at first he was like, I'm not trying to do this, it's too loud for me. But he started imitating those things like at home. So we tried again, went back to church, and then hypo. The guy is like really enjoying the music loud, and then he started like playing loud music in the house as well, like abaya volume man. So like it does sometimes it's kind of difficult to like navigate how they prefer things, but yeah, you do definitely learn how to like kind of thing, tackle those kind of things. Also, I heard you say something about how they hold, so you say what's up or yeah, that is called steaming. They hiding or they trying to regulate their sensory overload through that. They'll be like sometimes banging their head on the wall or like banging its own patting or something like on their head, and it's really to regulate how they're feeling at that moment, because remember their brain works very differently. It's like programmed from a different wire. It takes time to understand anything that is happening. It's like they unravel everything that is happening at that. Yeah. So it takes time for them to actually get through to the answer. Yeah. For example, how they bottled this water. For one, they will like think, when did they get this water? How did they?
So they dissect the process.
Exactly. They just dismantle everything and then puts it back together in a sense that they now understand how it is like and how it's supposed to be like.
I understand that also. I think it's from this series that I used to watch, Doctors, The Good Doctor. I think that's when I got to be curious in regards to autism, because I also learned that obviously the IQ levels are not the same. Like you've just did particular example of saying, look, let me put this thing apart, starting from plastic to water to bottling and everything, sort of everything else. So the process, it's a bit of a complex thing for them. And do you need to explain things in detail when you speak?
You have to be really literal when you speak to an autistic person. They do not know how to read between the lines.
No, they don't miss success not part of their.
No, you don't say easy game. You really have to say what it is. Like yes, as it is, yeah. Because they do not know how to read between the lines. Like, is it a yes or a no? Not a ridiculous. What is a new for me? Type of vibes, you know. So yeah.
Hey man. So now we give it to me trying to understand, because for every condition there's a cause for it. Yeah. What really causes autism? Because I want to also make parents aware that certain things can lead, and then this is how maybe possibly we can avoid that, because we're living in a area where we've been blessed to have a school that literally caters autism, because it's very rare that you'll find a community, a village having a school that caters for autism. Now, what is the cause for saying, or for, because obviously there were diagnoses done, and did they tell you guys what causes it?
You know, today in this technological era that we live in, it's surprising that not even in the medical field knows what causes autism yet. I always finish my sentence with yet, because maybe they might find a cause. But mostly people come with their own hypnosis of what could cause autism. And for me as a mom, as a person that wants to understand the depth of what autism is and what really causes it, you know, there are different aspects as well, like the spiritual aspects. I think we spoke about that earlier.
Great.
I'm gonna start with the spiritual aspect first to go down everything.
Start with the spiritual. Let us get started there. I'll tell you today with spiritual. Tell me, okay, let's go spiritual. What causes baby say this is a spiritual thing?
Okay, as I said earlier, as human kind, we need to rewire ourselves or program ourselves to. It takes time, you know, how you need to process something for it to let it happen. Like right now, we're living in a world where everything is like fast paced. They want to grow food fast. They want to have fast internet. They want kids to grow fast. The media is depicting that every day, so that there is a push to a fast lane. But in naturality, we are supposed to be human beings that take time to process a lot of things. And that is how our autistic mind works. Like, they pause to analyze whatever is going on. That is why, for me, for autistic people, you find that rules and regulations don't really they don't. So if you don't follow it, yay, they won't try and fix themselves to follow those things that don't really apply to them, you know? Yeah. So it does happen that, you know, I do say that certain human beings are sent to the world to remind us that we need to take time with what we need to be as human beings. I take time to understand what nature is like. I like to Potwanta autism le dishadi, flights and all that stuff. They grow at their own pace and time. And whether you plant different seeds of different plants or the same kinds, they don't grow the same way. They don't grow at the same time. They had the time that ways again today ya trocha, let topic no 3 days and then all of that trocha and then all of that trocha. And that's how we were supposed to be. We were designed that way. But they go fast. Everything is fast that we think that autism is a problem. It's not really a problem. It's really not a problem. It's us human beings that we are rushing. Where we rushing here? Well, we rushing anyway. So like with autism, it really taught me how to be like really patient with anything that happens in my life, whether it's progression, whether it's how I drink water, whether it's like something for work or those kind of things, you know. You don't have to rush in there.
Well,
Like really it takes like way rushing to unless you rush it to get that seat in hand and like it.
I was actually, you know, you are right. I think there's a lot of things which we are rushing to do and try.
And a lot of things that need to be reset as well.
We need to sort of like pull the plug. Because for somebody who like, I wish to have twins, kids. Like you, but, and then I started to check, does your family, is there a lineage that lead you to having twins? And she said, no. And then I said, well, how do you plan on doing it? She said, no, doctors are doing it, Mama. Like, they can just give you a pill and you ta-da. You can. I don't have confirmation of this. Hey,
No confirmation.
this is gossip. Oh. Don't hold me to it. But I'm agreeing with you on that level because also there was an instance where somebody was supposed to have twins and then the other twin died, but never really came out. It's just a long story. But now autism is part of a problem that we have created as human beings. And I'm saying a problem because it is now coming in to correct what we think it's life. Because now we're talking about AI, you know, we're talking about just getting answers like this. We're talking about growing up like this. For you though, are you enjoying this journey that you're on? And how does your family react when because obviously they've seen this child from birth. How do they?
Okay, let's first start with if I am enjoying it. First, it starts with knowing that your child is affected by autism and has autism. And then there's a part where you as a parent have to accept it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy for other parents to accept it because it comes with different levels and different stages. Because there are other kids that are not able to do things for themselves. The mind is very powerful at what it can do to a person too. So I quickly accepted it because I was kind of familiar with it because of the pamphlets that my mom figured, the books. You know, I liked reading when I was like coming up. So I would read like things that I didn't even need to know at that time.
Yeah, because
But it does help you. It does help you because when you get into a certain room when they're talking about 1, 2, and 3, and 4, you're like, oh, wait a minute. I read about this. I read about what is seriously that could be in this particular conversation. So yeah. And when I started going to these can I work with the
that was empowerment.
their parent empowerment, yeah, and then therapy sessions because they do give you therapy like your parent and child therapy, play therapy to help they will like articulate and play with other kids or like just know how to do things with other people because they like to be. There are the big autistic kids that like people. There are others that like prefer to be alone and like surrounded by their own kind of century and something like that. But I mean, like, you just learn to gradually
Just
do it the way it is. And when we were going to those parent empowerments, mainly the therapies, I met this tea, and she moved away from that room. I don't know why. Uh, her name is Sarah Shabra. Yeah, Sarah. Yeah. Shabra Life now, I'm not mistaken. So she cried at one session. She had to see that, hey, kunzimala. But she showed some tears and she was telling me, oh, you know what? There's so many young people that had kids with autism, but I would never see them here. I never see them come here like you come here every time. And that's what makes you like accept it. When you attend,
when you learn.
when you learn about them, when you understand them, you are able to accept them gradually, you know. So understanding for me was like, I don't know, it was easy. You know, I also had support from my mom and dad. Ooh, shout out to my mom and dad.
Shout out mom and dad. And the good thing about it is that I know mom and dad. So, shout out. So okay, I think what I like about it is that it's not, oh man, it's not a condition that you can run away from.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's the best thing because we have people who are misdiagnosing kids. Some will say they weren't mentally insane, and some will say they're incapable of taking care of themselves only because they lack understanding. Do you think a lot of parents are suffering from that, especially around just
Yeah, I do definitely. Since I had been in these your parent empowered experience with them, some have like difficulties in trying to understand, and maybe also fear leads to it. You know, the acceptance, and yeah, for me, I feel like whenever you familiarize yourself with whatever my child is going through and determined that, you know, this wouldn't overpower us, then you're able to take on it. You know, however, I think like a lot of people care what other people say
the lot?
a lot. They can't even step out with their case. Like, there was a time when I was in transport, public transport going to Hartswater. And a lady asked me if I was even embarrassed how my child was behaving. At that time, like I sat me down all the way to Hartswater from down, like I was talking about autism, and I forced the whole taxi tickets.
Being the workshop right there.
Because you don't judge a book by its cover, right? You know, try and open the book first, you know. What tell you what konom tell you know, wanna harm misbehaving, you know, harm misbehaving at all. And he's just trying to regulate himself because there's a lot of people in this public transport, you know.
Yeah.
He's not used to it and so used to like having him like in a private transportation going anyway. But that instinct just woke up something that I also didn't understand at that time because also I'm learning a lot of things about him everywhere that I get to take him.
Yeah.
Like how he behaves at like a family gathering, how he would behave at a certain playground or things like that. Will he be able to stand 1, 2, and 3, and 4? How long can I be there with him? Or
Okay.
yeah, look,
So it means you basically your time is not your time.
no, it's ours.
As a beautiful.
It's
So raising a child like that for you, have you experienced older people who are living with autism?
well, you know what they say about autism, like must be in the family. Okay. It's like genetics, you know.
Can we see the symptoms are there?
There are other people that I know that are undiagnosed and also have autism. So it means that they didn't have any formal diagnosis done, but you can see. You can see it's a key, yeah. I definitely gonna not name anyone, but I do have cousins, I do have uncles. You can see, like, even on my child's father's side, there are some. Did you see her? Okay, no, there is definitely a spectrum there. And it's nothing to be shy about, and it's nothing wrong to be about, It's how you embrace it.
Yeah.
It's how you embrace it. There's nothing really even funny about it, But it really gets funny in the house, fun in the house, when you actually know what I'm accepting of my autism, and there are certain things that I can be allowed to do or allowed to share, and
Because I'm saying autism is not a sickness, guys.
not a sickness. A lot of like in the medical field, how they define what autism is. Sometimes it's like it's going. They would go to extend like and say like it's a disability or it's something it's not. I have like if you have depression, hey, you're not disabled. If you have bipolar, you're not disabled. Even a person with cerebral palsy and who is born without a limb is not disabled. What ables you? Your breath, living is what ables you. Nothing like what you cannot do because you don't have an arm makes it possible for you to be like a disabled person. I know.
I love it when she said what enables you.
I mean, I know people who doesn't have arms who can draw better than me.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Really.
So, a thing that really enables you is like living, bro. If odds are introduced into the world, but like they were like boom up. All right, see. I mean, how long in that theater? That is what enables you. You are able. There's nothing like, yeah, I'm tired, able, disabled, spend me on how he missing, don't have breathing. She had to. What's he like? You kula matelo he, my guys.
So I have wow. Actually, I wanted to ask Tony something.
Yeah.
When we started with this conversation, he was actually very much interested and invested in hearing your side of the story, and he said he wants to be part of because what I wanted to find out from him. He says he was diagnosed with what, bipolar.
No, borderline personality disorder.
But what I'm interested in. Okay, but I was not even trying to laugh. But what I'm trying to understand, from you, firstly, how old were you when because obviously it means personality, it means they actually can see that there's couldn't turn off.
Oh,
How old were you?
it was actually last year when I was diagnosed here. Like,
Last year.
yeah.
What were you I need to have a take the mic. What were you going through? Do I have to? I want to know. Come.
That's weird. I don't even know.
You don't like the background, you don't like the landline.
I don't like being seen.
You don't like DC. I'm not sure why. Person by movies I'm booking for you.
Okay, so these will be episodes where I was always mad, pretty much,
All the time.
Yes, I would.
Like mad as in like angry. Have to like be specific because mad is something else. It's like that.
Connected a lot is cool, but I was angry and I would, hate myself. I would literally hate myself because of how other people live. So I can't hurt another person, but you can hurt yourself. So I'd rather hurt myself. So it's like knowing I don't understand this. This is something I might show myself as so personal. I think. So I went to this psychologist woman. So I told her like, I have this weird symptoms.
Wait, then before did you take yourself?
Yes, I did. That I just decided one time like, no, because I was really online, and then like, you're keeping some shadow wiki in my 20. Man, I'm not trying to see the night trees. Oh, so I was like, okay, cool. I went there, and she was like, one of the reasons that it happens is because of the anger that you've been keeping you from childhood. However, like it triggers a lot of emotions inside you, and then it brings out these weird episodes that you can't control as a person, and then I mask a lot, one say, so that is one of those issues. Like, no, the fact that you can punch yourself, it's weird.
But how did you punch yourself? Like, which parts did you prefer?
The face,
Wow.
yeah, that's happened. But it doesn't happen anymore yet. What? I don't know. But yeah, it hasn't happened in a while. So she was like, I had to go through some sessions with her, and then I went through some sessions, and she was like, I have traits of autism, like I said, and then I have traits of, what was that? Second part bipolar something, type P, bipolar type B.
Okay, these things sometimes they're caused by battling in lab, and later on in life because traumas, and I use trauma cause a specific group of things like those spectrums that you might be having.
So I just come going there. Like said, like I would find a way to deal with it because I have to.
Hey man, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Look, for me, it's a learning essentially because I was telling somebody that there's a side of the brain apparently not confirmed, the side of the brain that stores things which might hurt you. It puts that stop messing the best, and because your brain does not want you to deal with certain aspects of your life because they're hurtful, like parents fighting, your mom eating you for no reason, and all those things. So later in life, when your brain becomes weaker as you grow older,
It's like your brain suppressed all these fears and you just burst out at there.
yeah. So now because I love the fact that he actually took himself to the house. He took himself to this. We'll see. So
Yeah, which is good.
I had
And you are on self-diagnosis, If you are able to self-diagnose, then are able to go out and seek help, then you're in the right path.
wow. So for you, do you think possibly you need to regularly see a psychologist? Maybe just talk to someone, or is it something that you do with because you say you go there with your son? Something that you do with your son, or for you, Jay, as a mom?
Yeah, definitely. You do need to talk to someone every now and then, because it's not smooth all the time. It's not. As much as I can talk about it and make it look like it's all butterflies and lucky. There are times where it's really hard and you have to try and understand what he's going through, but the communication, you don't know how to communicate with him. That's where then I think the target therapy comes in, like speech therapy. They help you communicate with your child, not necessarily verbally or anything, because they are many ways to communicate. Like, for example, the first time when I started looking for a school for my son, I went to Patswater, and they by law school, they have a section there, they call it Itenmon, or additional class, where I found that they are cerebral palsy kids, blind kid, is it blind? no dead kids. And normally with autism as well, when they start teaching a child communication, they start with sign, because mostly they would sign themselves how they would want something. Because with my son, he wasn't verbal at first, and it was so difficult for us to communicate, because I didn't know what he wanted, and it would turn into a meltdown, a shutdown, you get a loud one, and we're not fighting, So I'd definitely put those hours in to go into those therapy sessions so that I can be able to understand communication with my child. And the very first time when he started communicating me using his hand gestures, I was like, he was big. Those are the moments that you strive for, like in this autism world. Like those little things are like achievements. There is possibility for a development effect, So yeah. Definitely, with all those sessions, with all those time where you create a schedule for your child, you also tolerate, you also learn, you both learn, and then everything is like magical, But it's not like magical every day.
Yeah, it's not. It's the reason I'm agreeing with the fact that it's not magical, because here on the other side, you've got a child who's developing, and obviously, you find you go to any store, find the kids throwing tantrums. Maybe they want you to buy them teddy bears, and you cannot afford a teddy bear. They throw a tantrum. On this other side, you've got that child who is a mature, growing child. And then on this other side, there's this challenge of now facing autism. Now, when you combine that together, obviously,
What is the tantrum? When is a mess? Yeah, you can definitely tell apart when a child is trying to regulate the emotions, and that is when they are throwing, getting a meltdown. They're experiencing a meltdown. And then a child who is throwing a tantrum, they are aware. They're aware. You can see how aware they are, and they. Babu tried to say that, nah, this is what I want. I want it my way, like this and that, And an autistic person isn't like that. Is that how they process things? You should understand that it doesn't come naturally, like it comes with us. We like fast, we reading between the lines, But they want to understand it the manual way. We buy phones, the manuals on the phone, we don't use manuals. An autistic person will go through every word in the manual to understand what how you ate this type of vibes.
wow.
So, excuse, how autistic people have this social cues problem. How do you, because being verbal and social cues is two different things, right? Yeah. So how do you deal with it on your side? Come on, how?
Okay, let's say for now, with my child, we're not there yet in the social cues and all that stuff. Because he just was enrolled this year, Koskono, and we are learning in between everything how he is communicating with his friends at school, his friends, and his friends by Kohai. We are trying to see how it's still going, because it's early. It's still a practicing thing. It's a practicing thing, but it comes naturally to him in a way. When we are with other family members, because gradually you introduce it out, like it's going to overwhelm them. They're still trying to figure out what to eat again. Then I'm saying to get it's too much. I can't do this. That's too much. I'm not gonna do it. I tell her, hi. Okay, unless you go, okay, mama, I am busy on mama says guy, and they only come day, come on, I want to clean for a friend, and just try to keep in between those video calls for the hour. but and all those stuff, and then that's when you can be able to hear some like like I said, when the church thing, like it's you need to get again bit and see how he is like around people, and if he's not handling it well, you can like pull yourself out a little bit and see how he's dealing with it after having to go to the environment. And then in little things like he's picking up, like, you know what, that do any sound is that thing or whatever. Let me see if I can like put him back again in the environment. I'll go exit or what. So you just gradually introduce them or introduce a habit you just like it teaches you patience. Autism teaches you patience. Okay. It's like how I like to tell a person when you ask God, for instance, hello, you know what, God, I want to be patient. He won't just give you patience and say, No, it doesn't work like that. He gives you a challenge that will test your patience. So this is for me a challenge that is like, you know what? Okay.
So that means what had a battery motion. Let's go.
I like that part.
So definitely it's just like a learning stepping stone. It's an everyday assessment that takes place. When like I go shopping with him, it's like I just didn't like it. Like you start early in the morning when there's no people there.
Right.
You don't want all those personality to sat him and be like, So yeah.
No, I can't wait. There's the colors family.
The reason why I'm saying this other time I went, we went all together. I went with my sister and her daughter. We went to town. We went shopping, obviously. And this time there's people around. That is why I took support.
Oh yeah.
And then we got there, and then he's just lying on the floor, and like I didn't try to move. Just trying to go. Like, oh my gosh, who are these people? I don't want to close my eyes. This is too much for me. So I like to pick him up and then just go. Let's go home.
But if you say it like that, it brings back the question of, I think, what we were talking about earlier, spirituality. But I want to speak on it on this level, because obviously you cannot see somebody and act in the sexy way. I'm just trying to understand how the whole process works out. Is it because people talk to him, or is it because of the energies, or is it because of what they speak? Is it too much noise?
You know what? A human being is very sensitive.
Throughout their body. They have vibrational systems going on.
The electromagnetic fields going on in their bodies, and it's very sensitive for autistic.
So they can usually pick that up.
They can pick that up. They can pick that up, okay? So they know when you meet up with another person,
Also, it's not.
also they can be like, okay, this energy is like, okay, it's sexy, okay, let's do this. Yeah. But in the spirituality context, like I said, it's just to reset
The time.
the whole
Fast forward thing.
breakage that happened in a human body. Like, we cannot sense anything right now. We cannot even trust our intuitions right now.
Yeah.
Those people are off the charts trusting their intuition.
Oh.
Autistic people are.
Yeah. They're at the pinnacle of humankind, where they actually show you this is how we are supposed to live. And they put it on the brakes. I like this one. This one I keep trying to read.
Yeah, that's sometimes what I wonder why they're telling us, hey man, I'm not talking about anything last year, but when they're telling us, what causes it? But as a person, you get to research all these kind of things and you understand, but back in the day, you didn't have a lot of autistic people. Therefore, it must be something we take.
Yeah.
You know, how we grow our plant right now is really, really fast. It's how we mature our farm lives. This is really fast. It's am I sure the apple that I'm eating doesn't have GMO?
Somebody said apples are like 6 months before they come to your shelf. Just say. So now, what would you say? Because, like I said, we're living in an area where I think you were blessed that you had an opportunity to go and consult. Well, what are the symptoms? I know, I understand they're different for every child, but those ones,
You know, when they say a child is throwing tantrums, that's the best one. The shutdowns, the meltdowns, right? And then on the and then there is social exhaustion. Like you see them at the professors, they really in the corner, I am trying to go out there again. Yo, it's
Not for the diet.
yeah. When they are in their own space, they spinning around, tilting their heads side to side and all those that those are what you should look at. If you think your child has autism, then those are the signs that you should look at, because they will tell you at the occupational therapist the reason why your child is having this and that is because they have autism and it means that 1, 2, 3 is happening. For example, last year was the first time that I understood why my son was tilting and not.
okay.
So a human ear has a liquid in at the drum. Yeah. Before the drum, the ear drum. The eardrum. As an average normal person, doesn't feel it, doesn't hear it. If you do this, will you hear it? Well, no. An autistic person does.
Yeah, it's like after swimming, you have water.
Everything is very sensitive. They can feel everything in their body happening. So that is why for them, more, let's go to potty training, because it's very difficult to get them off the diapers. Because my son got off the diapers at 6. He's now 8. Yeah, at 6. And it's kind of difficult because they know something is coming, but they're not sure. They're trying to understand where is it at.
Okay.
By the time they trying to feel how the ways again, it has arrived. Nothing I can do about it now.
Oh, right.
But I have to practice myself. But once I feel this high, I have to go to the bathroom now. It's time for me to stand up and go to the bathroom. So, with my son, my grandmother helped me potty train him.
Okay.
Because, we were all failing, hey? Because you want that to happen. You want movement to happen. Because you don't like seeing your child not able to help themselves, So my grandmother came through and she kind of did that indigenous knowledge. It always helps. It is. It always does help, just keeping the child off pampers and pants for a while. Because you get to understand when something is happening. Am I fast enough to take off my pants and go there? My pants are on. Am I gonna take my pants out here or that side?
Oh.
And it's already there.
It's already there. It's a journey, this thing. It's a journey.
Definitely.
And I'm glad that you had support. Because certain people go undiagnosed and they don't even know what's going on with them. And they grow up like that. And it's sort of we just take them that probably she likes her whole.
It's wrong. It's very wrong. And with the right treatment, the right everything, you would find that the child is able to succeed in any way possible. Like we have a lot of people, public figures that do not share, but also are diagnosed with autism. You know, you have a lot of people in the limelight here in South Africa and all over the world. And yeah,
Wow. It's still sort of like a mystery to a lot of people, and you might find there's a stigma behind it, so people don't feel comfortable with coming forward. I think having parents like you who openly talks about it and sort of mainly re-educate a certain parent or a certain mom, I think it makes things a lot easier, and then we get to understand. Even when I was to meet your son on the streets, or even when I was to meet a parent who is not aware of it yet, it will make things easier for me to be able to say,
yeah, definitely. The stigma needs to be lifted as penalty. Because, you know, there's this thing going around. Like I just said it earlier, I don't know where we on air or off. Where I said the stigma grows when these words are constantly shared. Everybody is a little bit autistic. No, everybody is not a little bit autistic. Everybody can have a little bit of spectrum here and there, but it's not autistic. You know, so you should know that you're autistic or diagnosed. If you don't know and you're having those kind of symptoms, then go to an OT, go check it out, go get diagnosed, and you cannot say you're autistic. Sweet.
yeah, what I see mostly as tragic is that in the era that we're living in, we're dealing with a lot of allergies. Somebody said to me, my son cannot play up the grass. Ish, that's an allergy. Grass. How this work?
That's real though, because when it blooms, go September, yeah, my eyes get very, very weird.
It happened with the sensory as well, you know, when it comes to an autistic person, they are very sensitive, and when it comes to what they eat, what they don't eat, what touches their skin, what doesn't touch their skin and whatnot, you know, it's a whole group of things. You get that when they eat certain things that don't even like necessarily would make them sick, they get sick. For example, for the first time in like 2 years ago, I fed my son sweet corn and he gagged. Like, hold up. Like a fucking gagged. I can't like natural. And like there are certain things that doesn't like correspond with the immune system and all that. What they eat, for example, also like the t-shirt that you wear, my son loves seamless. You don't like things tickling in around here. Why? You know, eat the socks. You have that like little round thing. Like, why are they here? Like, you know, like just take it out. Yeah, so
Like everything is just on a higher volume for them.
yeah, they big. Like I said, they're like very sensitive. They feel everything times 100.
Somebody was diagnosed me with a.
By birthday,
I'm sorry.
Why are you happy? Sorry, and because that. No, I think somehow I met the scriptures. Heard it?
Okay, yeah.
You know, when somebody would just look at you and go like, I've been looking at you for a week now.
China cars.
well, a lot of people like to diagnose, especially if we have a huge border personality. Like you out there and like beauty, there's nothing that yet stops you. Yeah, letting it.
I think
For me, it's diagnosis all of a sudden.
Yeah. But you're right. We all have a little bit of something in us. But do you think there's more that we people who possibly do not understand autism? Do you think there should be more done? Do you think the media is doing justice to autism? Even I was giving you an example with the series that I was watching, The Good Doctor. It makes it look like I love the fact that those challenges that they are bringing to him, somehow they can turn out to be realistic challenges in our daily life, where people do not understand how you function and your way of doing things. Do you think they are doing justice to teaching people, especially on the media and in the movies, teaching people about autism?
don't think media has a good representation of autism. Yeah, it doesn't have even a good doctor. Honestly, like they going beyond it. Like it's too much. Like I don't know how they represent it. It's like this other time they this movie that I downloaded, the Tina, I think, and the Tina. Yeah. So this Tina, the brother is autistic.
Oh yeah.
The,
Here I know it.
the representation, and it's like what? Come on, there's really nothing realistic about how they represent autistic people. They don't show real problems. Or when the movie starts, yes, they show a very good representation of how a person will like take it. Like if you are not able to accept what autism is or what its challenges that comes with as a parent, you retaliate and like you think your child's the burden. Like, it's not necessarily the case. It's not the case. Like you understand something like I said earlier, it's easier for you to like go around it.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I think they can like try better to understand people around them that actually really do have autism. Like a lot of research needs to be done. We are living in the fourth industrial revolution. Technology is at peak and people still don't know what autism is, especially the medical field. I don't buy it type of vibes. We need to go thorough and research why autism, why does it even exist? What is it as human beings are we trying to run away from? There's what we call miracles. Those things were
Real.
like truthful back in it. We're hopeful. Faith was high and we could see miracles happen. If your child suffered from severe autism, with the right with the right protocols, you were able to achieve a person they can do for themselves in the future. Right now it's like everything is just going back, but you have to like not give people hope. This is just to like wake them up and say, please guys, do your research on this type of topic, because I might had not covered the kind of autism that you wanted to know about because it's different. My mom that has a autistic kid like this will not be the same as the autistic child that I had. They dealing with a different routine than I have at the house, So definitely research in the media, research within ourselves.
What I see with autistic kids, what I love about them, is that they're very vigilant. And I've seen it with how they would, if they've been looking at you, if you are a mom and they live with you, and they've been looking at you, your routine, because as much as we sort of, you've included him in your routine, but you have your own, you have your way of sort of doing things, your way of handling certain situations. They pick a certain element of what you do, and they will do it over and over again. But you ask yourself, where did he see this? Or where did he pick this thing up? Because I'm always with him. You don't actually see it, but they picked it up from. So I love the fact that they are so vigilant to an extent that they would show you Ophelia, this is how you be, this is what you do.
That is why you should definitely know how to behave around a growing autistic.
Don't do any things in front of them. Don't be.
They duplicate. They definitely are observers. They are definitely observers, and you have to know how to behave around an autistic person, especially if they are tender and like a growing man. But there are certain things that you just don't do, like how you use a knife. Or someone tell me that knife, how you play with it. No. There's a different way of playing with kids now. You don't do that. Like, for some reason, like when you remember you then remember her, nah, actually, that was a trauma response. Oh, how can a person create with a child like that? Nah. So definitely, they will pick up small things. Even if you think they're not watching, they pay at the gadgets that they love so much. They do pay attention. They have sequences of how they work around those things that are just in the midst of environment. Yeah.
Dr. Kara was that smart doctor from Marvel,
Doctor Strange.
Dr. Strange.
Okay. I think up on that note, the media part.
Yeah.
Most of the time when autism or neurodivergent thing is introduced to people, it's always he's suffering from autism, you understand? So the media is always trying to push the suffering story. Understand? They're trying to make us understand for it. Yeah, if you had autism, you're suffering. But I'm not, I'm just standing here living. You understand? Like, so most of the time, I feel like the media is not trying to make us understand that. It's trying to just put it out there for like people.
It's not just they trying to make you or break you. She also, it's like they give you this representation of like, yeah, you're a supernatural being, like out of this planet, or it's just suffering.
It's just crazy.
Like there must be another representation they can like give us or something like that.
Okay, but now that I understand that in your family, there is that touch, have you checked yourself as a mom? Would say maybe you might have.
Yeah, but yeah, well, it's mandates. You had to, like, you have to have that assessment that checks you out. Hey, Nana, are you there? But you okay? You seem like you can like tell or maybe like maybe get on that spectrum because I am really getting sarcastic on the terms. But also that I'd be vague on someday.
Some can be, some cannot be.
Yeah, some cannot be. You know, like for example, like there are other autistic people who are fluent with sarcasm. They can hear you from a mile away. But there are others that are like, what are you saying? Not even a word you say. Like, you know?
Nothing goes over my head.
Because I'm sitting here, when you mentioned sarcasm, I was sitting here, I'm like, hey, press, Waki. No, I'm sitting here, I'm like,
I have a lot of autistic, growing up autistic that I have baby. Like when you get online, you can see like the most of them that post sarcasm.
You will see.
So like they would go like I'm sending this autistic person to go buy milk and check if there's avocados. If they have avocados, just buy milk. You come with milk and avocado. You have to make this clear. Do I come with avocado or not? Do I check the avocado just checking them and then just coming with milk after checking the avocado?
I'm literally going on to that, but I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, if somebody was to ask me, like, I think, but one night got this thing that they do, they would knock on your door and they would say, I would suhili. Like, yeah, you did. And then my response would be, no, I'm not. I'm not very much. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, will you do those things? You do those things. You know, for me, it's I cannot believe you're asking me, bro. Something you like, are you drinking water? No, I'm not drinking water.
No, like, you know, with the autistic clan was like, you don't ask obvious questions.
Yes.
Like, you'd be like, oh, no, it's whatever, just skydive. Like, hi, skydiving today, see me.
Yeah, that's real.
I remember my son had to literally think before, like, he would ask me, so where do you want me to put this? I'm like, put it on my head. And he would look at me. Because he doesn't know.
Yeah, like, if you be sarcastic or not.
Yeah, I need to go see somebody. And you will see some Ghana. Because now, when somebody starts talking about things that are possibilities, like this and this and yo, she's continuing in my thought. And I have all those things. I can see those things with myself. Like I was telling you right now. Somebody literally just said, right now, ADHD, right? I couldn't believe it. I spent a month talking to that person. How dare but I think we need to understand where we are as humans, and you need to know yourself. Don't be afraid of finding out things that you grew up not knowing.
Finding out that I'm in the wrong, actually, and I need to fix this,
So now, what the challenge about autism is that human beings don't come with a manual. So because they, like we just said, they literally go through the manual. And I think that's one struggle that they would always have growing up. It's like you, when you want to date, it's going to be very difficult when you decide to get married one day, and then
Why would it be?
why, my guy, my guy, why? No guy. They like our spiritual guides. Yeah.
So young.
When you introduce them, you're like, they actually read you, and I like that about them. But anyway, I want us to hold it there. And really just a message of support to the parents who are handling. I'm not gonna say teaming. No, this is not handling a child of autism. I want low parents to come.
Why not say who will leave?
Could take most cases where it's I want more parents to come forth, so that, because like you said, it's different for every parent, so that at least we can start opening up a conversation and literally have conversation.
Just so, I was just thinking right now, autism also caters for like autism parents. Sometimes it's not easy for you. Yeah, you understand how it is, like it's a roller coaster trying to like navigate this life with autism. There is help, okay, for autistic parents. There's like therapies for them. There's like parent empowerment that Autism SA holds, and there are also workshops that come into the province, different kind of province and all that. And they go to public hospitals, guys. But I think we're not for to just be like take power and take charge of that. As much as it can be difficult for you to like try and accept that your child has autism, we understand whether it's cut for you to even try and like raise a child on having autism. That is why there is support and help in trying to understand the problem, in trying to understand your child, in trying to understand yourself as an autism parent as well. So yeah. And I was also say and left something behind. In autism, there's this thing called masking. That means like you are so good at hiding that you have autism. So it happens a lot that girls are perfect in masking, guys. That you find a lot of girls getting kind of getting diagnosed later in life than boys. For this, and I think they learn masking as time goes, not when the curtain starts. With a girl, so it's difficult to tell if the girl is like autistic or not. So yeah,
On the masking partner, do you think like we are parents to an autistic child, ne? Do you think if you were to mask as a parent, not as an autistic parent, just as a parent, your masking is you hiding your feelings and stuff?
sometimes as a parent, if you get it,
Do you get to a point where you gonna be autistic because of that?
No.
Okay.
No. But there is a chance that you were autistic growing up, and then you masked it, and now you are just letting your truth bring out.
Possibly it's also the trees. Or medicine your child is triggered.
Okay, why do I feel comfortable at Reese? This thing works for me on a day-to-day basis. I can do a lot of things. I can have a routine. But when you gotta things I hate, it's not for me or whatever. So yeah, sometimes you can pick up that you've been masking all your life. If it feels like, damn, I've been robbed of my childhood. I've been robbed of like having friends or being able to connect. Like autism, or I was suffering from a spectrum or something like that. So yeah, it does catch on as a parent if you had those kind of problems growing up.
Wow. Hey, man. You've learned a lot today, I'm telling you that much. Parents, we need to seek out information. If there's some type of you don't understand, kids are not baked in the same pan. They're different. So we need to learn adulthood. Just learn how. Don't be afraid, man. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. Who would say whatever? Why is my child like this? Parents normally panic when the child takes time to start walking, start talking. Let us all be curious when you see the symptoms. So just be curious to say, this is what I see. He's tilting, he's misbehaving, he's experiencing meltdowns and awkward times, and ask those questions. Or to the hospital, they can assist you. Yeah. So let's do that. Let's go out there and find out. Reitumetse, thank you very much. As a mom, this is a milestone for. This is a milestone. And I'm happy that for a young person, you are taking charge, because the best part to assist a child who's got autism is to start early, so that you teach them that life, because they're going to grow up and they're going to move out one way or the other. And they need to fend for themselves. When you start them very early. So congratulations on that part. You're working very hard.
So much.
Wow. Anyway, man, thank you very much for being in conversation with us today. People, let me remind you, like and share, subscribe. What is the other one? Tag, invite. Yeah, comment. Yeah. Okay, we'll see you on another one, people. Bye-bye.